Here's the parts you're going to need to mount the Naked Thumb on a micro drone. I'm using a Funhog groomer frame right here. I have already installed the power. It takes 5-volt in. We have obviously an assembled camera. I usually use 3 cable ties for this and a little bit of double sticky. Today I'm using, I believe this is VHX. So let's get to it. We'll start by threading a pair of the cable ties through here. So the orientation here is that this is the top where you see the little bumps. It's flat on one side. So this is the bottom that we're now looking at. Carefully I thread a small but long cable tie through there like that. All right, and then I'm going to do that one more time. This is a minimal amount of mounting that you can do. There's a lot of other ways to do it, but I like this method and I've been having good luck. Based on this type of strategy, the parts available and how this unit is constructed, there's a lot of variation out there that will be able to mount it on your drone. Okay, I usually get those lined up pretty good like that. So here it is, looking from the front angle, you see those. So what we're going to end up doing is we wrap it around the drone as such, and we clamp it like that. See? And that's basically how it works. So let's do it. In a lot of drones, that's going to be very easy because you can slip a cable tie right through the top, something like that. Okay. The way that we operate with the Funhog, and you may run into this in other builds, we use a thing called camera flaps, and this is a vertical piece of carbon fiber that is suspended. So in order to allow the Naked Thumb and other mounting options to come through, we route a little tiny hole there. It looks sort of like this. And that top piece is what allows us to pass the cable ties through. So before we do that, we do need to put down a good chunk of this VHX stuff. This takes out vibration. You can use it to add a little bit of angle. It's kind of an all-around good thing, in my opinion. How much you use, why you use it, what you use is up to an individual's preference. But the way we're using this camera is we are deadlocking it down with a little bit of vibration support to the frame. This keeps it from moving it around. It keeps it in place. It's basically bubble gum. Now, just moving these wires out of the way. We're going to put this down. And as bizarre as it might feel, thread the cable ties first. So it's going on the top of the camera flap in a little hole that we have left available. I can do a good camera swap once it's set up and you kind of know what the model expects. I can do a camera swap in a matter of a minute or two. I am fighting with it a little bit more here because this is a brand new build. And what's happening is I need to push only one through at a time. There we go. Should see 2 of them coming through. Then we can take this and bend it over and put it in place. Now we're modifying our frames to support this better, but as it stands right now, this does a pretty good job. So you can see that I'm sandwiched in there, just holding it very tight with my fingers. This is what the side profile looks like basically. So let's seal it up. I usually start with the back cable tie, give it a bend, push it up through. You don't want to go too tight, you want to just have it hold the position and the general shape of things. Once you have the second one in, you're in a good spot. But you can still make some adjustments. I will. Get that a little bit better centered, hold it in place. Now, while you still have the ability to spin the cable ties around, be conscious to try to push the head, the fat side of the cable tie, back into this way, back into the camera. You can do this with pliers, but I break it a lot with pliers, so I usually only bring a plier in at the end to give it a couple good extra cranks. One click, 2 clicks, 3 clicks. Okay. Now with that on there, there might be a little bit of movement. You might have a little bit of play. It might be good to go. Your cable ties might provide you the ability to tighten it down more, like I'm doing right here, okay? Or they might snap and you're gonna start over again. That is pretty darn good. So you could fly with that. But I'm gonna take it all the way. I'm gonna take it one more step because some people might want extra stability or security. The last step that you can do, and this is a weird one, is, provided you have room, and sometimes you don't even need the room, just thread your cable tie, and believe it or not, hug it like this. I'll give you another look in a second. It's really awkward, but it works well. So here you go. See how that's going? And then it's just going underneath the frame, picking it up on the other side. This pulls the camera down and back a little bit, and it really locks in the stability. And with that, you are done. Let's go over our final installation and notes. Number 1, we have the power supply already routed. The way that I handle that is with a little piece of electrical tape, and I fold that tape over the edge of the top of the frame, and that holds it in place and keeps it out of the props. All right, here it is. I'm just gonna hold it just like that. It does not move. It might as well be part of the carbon fiber bolted on. Works really good. Really good. Your footage will be as smooth as your tune. Don't be shy to wedge a little piece of E-tape right where you can see cable tie going under. That will keep your card from moving around, vibrating, or sliding out ever. And of course, it's not easy to take this SD card out, so you have access to the USB port. The power button is accessible in the front.